This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree.
Good morning and welcome to LCTV News. I'm Danny Vittori, and this week, Lynn represented at the Super Bowl, community service took center stage, and more. On the Lynn Lowdown, we had two members of EforAll, Kat Lawlor, the executive director, and Heidy Ramirez, the program director, to discuss their mission and events they are hosting. Here is the news for December 9th, 2022. Mayor Nicholson has announced the three finalists for the position of Superintendent of Schools. They are Dr. Yvonne Alvarez, Molly Cohen, and Kevin McCaskill. Alvarez worked for 27 years in the Miami-Dade School District, moving up the chain of command from teacher to principal to district director and lastly, administrative director. She moved to Providence early in 2022 and has since become the Chief Academic Officer at Providence Public Schools. Cohen began her career teaching 25 years in Chile before moving to the U.S. as an English immersion teacher at both Salem High and Lynn Tech. She served as the principal of Thurgood Middle School from 2015 to 2022 before being named interim deputy superintendent in August of this year. McCaskill was both a teacher, administrator, and principal in his 22 years working for Springfield Public Schools. Most recently, he was the executive director of Madison Park Vocational High School before earning the position of Chief Academic Officer of High Schools in 2021. The nominees were presented to and accepted by the school committee last night, with the goal being to select a new superintendent by the end of this month. On Tuesday the 5th, Governor Charlie Baker came to see the future site of a 33-acre park on the end of Hanson Street, which is currently the site of a landfill. City and state officials alike gathered to present their plans for the Lynn Harbor Park project. The project is a joint effort by the City of Lynn, Mass Development, and Charter Contracting to create a public space that is similar to Spectacle Island in Boston. It will include a waterfront park and a hilltop lookout point that Governor Baker believes is an important part of bringing transformative projects into developing cities. The preliminary phase of the project is expected to be completed by 2025, with permits being filed in January or February. Mayor Nicholson echoed this excitement, saying how the project will not only create development opportunities, but also engage the public by giving them a space that everyone can use. The route for the annual Christmas Eve parade has been announced. There's an interactive map on our website, lyntv.org, for those wishing to see the route and exact locations where it will begin, end, and take breaks. The parade begins at Austin Square on Summer Street before winding through the city and finishing at Lyngate Plaza between 9:45 and 10 p.m. There will be small refreshments served at the end of the parade route as well. Holiday programming is also available on LCTV all day Christmas Eve and Christmas Day beginning at 7 a.m. In addition, there will be holiday movies and music broadcast on December 10th and December 17th beginning at 8 p.m. both nights. For a complete list of what will be shown, as well as access to the interactive map for the parade, go to our website, lyntv.org. The Affordable Conductivity Program is an FCC benefit plan which focuses on helping households afford the broadband they need for school, work, and healthcare, to name a few. Benefits provided would give families $30 a month for internet services, as well as an additional $75 for households on qualifying tribal lands. Eligible families can also get a one-time discount of $100 on a laptop, tablet, or desktop if they are able to contribute between $10 and $50 towards the purchase. Households are eligible if they are at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines, or if they meet at least one of the other criteria. This includes receiving a federal Pell Grant or federal housing assistance, as well as several other potential qualifications. For a full list of qualifying criteria, head to our website, lyntv.org. The City of Lynn will be receiving a $401,365 grant from Senator and Charles E. Shannon Jr. Community Safety Initiative Grant Program that will be used to fight youth and gang violence. The grant is meant to help youth aged 10 to 24 who live in areas where they are at a higher risk of becoming involved in gangs. It is done in a variety of ways through law enforcement and prosecution, as well as coordinated intervention or prevention programs. Organizations work closely with the community to create programs that work best for youth in that specific area. Local nonprofit LifeScene applied for the funding earlier this year and will be distributing it to the Lynn Police Department, the Department of Parks and Recreation, Lynn Youth Street Outreach Advocacy, and the Lynn Catholic Charities branch to fund the programs meant to keep the youth of Lynn out of gangs and away from violence. In addition to the many organizations and the City of Lynn, this grant is also being supported by Senator Brendan Creighton, who believes the funding will have a strong positive impact on youth's younger population. Saturday the 3rd had multiple events, beginning with a Christmas craft fair and kids party hosted by the Knights of Columbus. Santa was in attendance, with activities stretching through 2 floors of the venue. Here is more.
We're having the Christmas craft fair and kids party, and we have vendors come every year around this time, and they pay for their tables and they get to sell their stuff, and all the money goes to charity. And we also have raffles and lunch and everything, and all that money goes to charity too. And we try to make it so we don't pay a dime, we just give all the money to charity. I start emailing people around like June, and then just periodically check in and see who wants to sign up and things like that. And then usually within a month it gets really crazy, and like people sign up and set up the tables and all that stuff. I would like to thank all the Knights that helped out and my girlfriend that helped out selling the raffles and everything. It's important to us because we take care of our own community in Lynn, and most of the charities like the churches and the Family and Children's Services and all that, we give to them through this for Lynn. So we want to keep our community going and get involved in our community.
Later that day, there was a community fair at Thurgood Marshall Middle School. There was face painting, arts and crafts, and even a 3D printer, to name a few. Take a look.
My name is Jessica Gerardo. I am a special education teacher here at Thurgood Marshall Middle School. I'm on the family engagement team, and the family engagement team puts on these events, community fairs. We have one in the fall and we'll have one in the spring. just to bring the Marshall families together as a community. It's important to bring the kids with their families into the building just so they feel like they're a part of the Marshall community. So kids come here every day and parents are at work or doing their own thing, but when they come together, they really feel like they're a part of the school community. So that's really important to make the kids feel like this is like their school, their home, like, and the whole family is a part of Marshall. It's also important because we have a technology room that we can get all the parents onto technology to be able to monitor their kids' grades and see how they're doing. And we really want to urge parents to really take an active part in the education by reviewing the kids' grades and making sure everything's going well. I hope that the families take away from this that we welcome them into the building as a community. We're here for them. We hope that they have fun in Marshall, because it is, you know, it's a fun place to be. We want them to have fun, not only learn, but have fun as well. So I hope that they just take away fun and joy out of it. And I hope they learned a little bit about the agencies and the technology and how they can stay active with their students' education.
North Shore Community College hosted a toy drive last Tuesday the 6th at their Lynn campus as part of their Stuff a Cruiser with Toys initiative. Stacks of toys were loaded into the waiting cruiser and snacks were given to those in attendance. Here's a clip from the event.
We're very excited today. We managed to collect 2 cruisers full of toys for Toys for Tots. A lot of people don't know very much about Toys for Tots. Toys for Tots originated back in 1947. And it's a Marines organized event. Every year, Toys for Tots collects millions of toys to go to millions of children in need. I think it's just nice that we can be here today and that everybody was so generous. The North Shore Community College community was so generous and generated and donated all these toys so that maybe we can make some of these holidays brighter. This is the first time for the campus police department to be running this event. We plan to do many like it in the future. We're part of the community. We want to help the greater community. We're not just the college as a whole, but the community as a whole. And it's very important that people see us as an asset to the community. As police, we're here to serve them and to do what we can to make their lives better. And that's what we're all about. And we're trying to communicate that message through this event and others like it. It's a stressful time, and just one toy can make all the difference in somebody's special holiday.
Thursday the 8th, the Phoenix Food Hub was officially opened with an inaugural breakfast and ribbon cutting ceremony at the Greater Lynn Senior Services. There were several speeches and many people were in attendance. Here is more.
The collaboration that created this food hub was born out of the pandemic conversations we had between the City of Lynn and the food hub partners. We were talking a lot about how we get enough food to the people we were serving.
The Food Security Task Force has set such a great example for focusing on an issue and then bringing the team that's required to make a difference on that together and really stepping up to make it about the residents of our community.
The innovation here is amazing, and people who feel food insecure deserve to come to a space as beautiful as this. They deserve to take lessons and to learn to cook other cultures.
I could not be more grateful to you all to inviting us to be part of this incredible work. Our $1.8 million grant I can already see is being well used, and I cannot wait to see how the incredible programming of the Teaching Kitchen, of the Preventive Food Pantry is going to help the patients in Lynn.
The Phoenix Project is something that is just further dedication of our dedication to the city and to the community. It will allow us to serve not just our traditional clientele of the elderly, but the entire community at large.
1, 2, 3.
The High Rock Tower Observatory, which overlooks the city, has a rich history. LCTV went to get an inside look and learn more about the tower and telescope within. Take a look.
The thing that's really special about High Rock Tower here in Lynn is that this land is actually owned and operated by the city itself, the Community Development Office. The property we're on itself, a couple acres, was given to the city by the Hutchinson family, specifically for the creation of an observatory, a tower where the citizens of Lynn could come to observe the heavens, of course, and also to discuss the sort of most compelling and interesting ideas of the day. Sort of a strong, long history of abolitionism here in Lynn. The Hutchinson family, of course, were very vocal opponents of slavery, having been friends with Frederick Douglass. The current tower was completed, I guess, around early 1900s. The previous tower here was burned in presumed revelry after the North was victorious in the Civil War. The current observatory at the top of the tower was finished in early 2000, so around 2002, which prior to then, the tower really wasn't accessible to the public. So after that investment and renovation by the city, then the tower became open to the public so that they could come and enjoy the sky. But also the dome we're currently in, which does rotate around so that we can track objects as they move across the sky. It also includes the telescope here, which is the Meade LX200 telescope. It's a 12-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain style telescope. With that kind of aperture, we can easily see the planets like Jupiter and Saturn and see the detail in them, like the rings of Saturn, the moons that orbit each of these bodies. You can see the great red spot of Jupiter, the northern and southern cloud bands of Jupiter as well. You can see Mars. It's a little small, but you can, if you're patient, make out some surface detail on Mars. So in the back of the mirror, the back of the sort of body of the tube is the primary mirror. And then that small disc that's cut out in the very center in the front, that's the secondary mirror. So what's happening is the light's coming in, bouncing off the back primary mirror, then it's reflecting off that smaller secondary mirror, and then being redirected back of the scope into this portion here. There's another small mirror, and then it gets bounced out through this aperture into the eyepiece, focusing it for your eyes to see whatever object you're focused on. It's about a 2400 millimeter path length, so we're really zooming in on the objects in the sky. Some recent improvements this year, we updated the lights all in the room. So these are all on a dimmer switch and have a red gel in there so that your eyes can not be photo bleached by white light. You can see where you're walking, but your eyes aren't being bleached to be able to see the things that are relatively speaking, dim in the telescope. One of the bigger projects was decommissioning the telescope, taking it off the platform here, this pier, and walking it down all 110 stairs downstairs to take it to someone to have it updated. Dr. Luke Conlon, I should say, from Salem State. He's another volunteer with us. He will take his homemade refractor style telescope, have that down on the lawn so that folks can enjoy the views down there through that telescope, see a different kind of construction, still see the night sky, still enjoy sort of the views available downstairs, but then won't have to summit the scope. Publicly held city observatory, that's rather unique. The only other one that I just found out about is in Lima, Ohio, actually. So it's really unique that the public has access to an instrument of this size. It's a 12-inch aperture telescope, which, as I mentioned earlier, allows you to really see a whole lot of stuff in the sky and allows us to do a lot of interesting things with the telescope. Other schools have them, but no cities do. So we get visitors from all over. Folks will come from California to see the observatory. We've had people from New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont driving down just by finding us online. And for those that maybe aren't interested in space, I encourage them to still give it a try because, I mean, it's really fantastic to see the rings of Saturn for yourself. I might have even talked about the moon. The moon, of course, is very popular because there's such rich detail you can see on the moon, the lava plains, there's all kinds of scarps and fracture features, there's craters, there's mountains, there's shadow, there's light. It's really wonderful. Of course, there's the view. So if you come and it's the right time of year where we're opening right around sunset, then you can see the view of the ocean, of Boston, of Nahant, and it's really gorgeous up here.
Now, the sports update. Winter sports are beginning as the Lynn English Bulldogs have begun tryouts for basketball. They finished last year with an impressive 14-8 record and made it to the second round of the MIAA Division I playoffs before being knocked off by eventual champions BC High. Kip Academy football fell to top-seeded Hull 27-6 in the Division VIII Super Bowl at Gillette Stadium on Saturday, December 3rd. Despite the score, Kip head coach Jim Rabbit is very proud of his team and told them to hold their head high. 12 minutes into the game, it was 13-0 Hull after an interception and 2 snaps over the Panthers' QB's heads. Then with 12 seconds left in the half, Kip scored a catch and run by Morinel Castro. Castro also had an interception up against the sidelines in the second half, and the Panthers continued to fight but ran out of time. They finished 8-5 on the season with over 300 points scored and have a bright future ahead. St. Mary's football downed Stoneham 29-8 in the rain at Gillette, also on the 3rd, to capture the Division VI Super Bowl championship title. Running back David Brown was the star of the game, going 195 yards and scoring all 4 Spartans touchdowns on the big stage. Stoneham scored on their opening drive, then tacked on a 2-point conversion to take the early 8-0 lead. St. Mary's would not let up any more points for the rest of the game, however, while the Spartans ran over the Stoneham's defense. Brown had the first 2 scores for St. Mary's on a 5-yard run and a 62-yard run to make the score 15-8. Running back Derek Kulangis would then run back a kickoff 55 yards to the 25-yard line to begin the second half and set up the Spartans for another touchdown. A 4th by Brown in the 4th sealed the deal and left St. Mary's as the last team standing. Congratulations. The Bruins continued their hot streak with a 5-1 victory over the Colorado Avalanche. Forward Trent Frederick scored 2 goals for the Bruins, including one off a rebounded shot by Brad Marchand, which Frederick buried in the back of the net. They then suffered a rare 4-3 overtime shootout loss to the Las Vegas Golden Knights before rebounding with a 4-0 win over the Avalanche on the 7th to land at 21-3-1. After a scoreless first, David Pasternak's wrist shot found the net 5 minutes into the second period. Hall had the second and 4th goals, while Frederick had claimed the 3rd one against the Avalanche. Another high point for the Bruins has been goaltending. Goalie Linus Ullmark is having his best season with a record of 15-1 and a save percentage of .939. The Boston Celtics have moved to 21-5 with 3 straight victories over the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, and Phoenix Suns. In a 103-92 road win versus the Nets, Jaylen Brown was the top scorer with 34 points. Brown and Jason Tatum also combined for 21 total rebounds, 10 for Brown and 11 for Tatum. As a team, the Celtics had 11 steals and 28 points in the paint. They took a 35-27 lead in the first quarter and never gave it up, outscoring the Nets in 3 of the 4 quarters. In a narrow 116-110 win over the Raptors, Tatum and Brown were once again the top scorers at 31 and 22, with Marcus Smart just behind them at 18 points. It was a fiercely contested game, with teams trading off who scored more points per quarter. The Celtics in the first and third, and the Raptors in the second and fourth. The Celtics then dominated the Suns in a 125-98 win, which saw Malcolm Brogdon score 16, and the Celtics as a team go over 100 points in the first 3 quarters. On the Lynn Lowdown, we welcomed Kat Lawlor and Heidy Ramirez of EforAll to discuss the many programs offered by their organization. Here is the Lowdown. Good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on 2 people from EforAll, Kat Lawlor, their executive director, and Heidy Ramirez, the program manager. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Of course. So first question I'll ask is just, can you give a little bit of an overview of what EforAll does?
Yes. So we are called EforAll LYNN, or A Para Todos LYNN, because we run our programs in English and Spanish. We're entrepreneurship for all. So we are a nonprofit that is accelerating social and economic impact through inclusive entrepreneurship. So we do a 1-year business accelerator program in English and in Spanish twice a year in the winter and in the summer. And we do classes, we give the entrepreneurs mentors for the first 3 months, and then we meet with them quarterly and give away cash prizes the rest of the year. So they're with us for an entire year. It's completely free. And our mission is essentially to give aspiring business owners the training and the tools to successfully start a business in their local community.
Oh, I love that.
And we also throw pitch contests too. So they're basically, we call them like Shark Tank without the teeth. So we have
I like that.
Yeah, we have we have 8 entrepreneurs come and they pitch their business idea. It's like a fun community event. They pitch their business idea in 2.5 minutes in front of judges. The judges give them feedback, ask them questions, and then they help us decide who wins the money. So we give away cash prizes, they get exposure and feedback on their idea, and it's just like a super fun event. And we usually have those events right before the deadline for our accelerator, hoping that these entrepreneurs will like come into our year-long program.
Right. You kind of set them up a little bit for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they get very excited about, present their business idea, and they feel like, oh yes, also they receive a really good feedback for the judges. They get very inspired about that, and it's like, yes, I really love my business idea, so I'm gonna go to the next level, and then is when they apply to the business accelerator.
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I'd get so nervous doing that. I'd kind of be like, words.
Yeah, it's really, really fun. And we just started doing them in person again. We started in Lynn. Well, our headquarters is in Lowell. So we started our Lynn chapter because we target underserved communities. So we targeted Lynn because there's a high Hispanic population, because we run our programs in English and in Spanish. So essentially, we did everything in person, the classes, the events, the mentor meetings, everything in person. And then, of course, COVID hit, and we turned completely virtual, which was kind of convenient because people could it made it more accessible and inclusive for people to actually be able to attend all the classes on Zoom. The mentors, we were able to get more mentors because they could log in on Zoom too, because they're
from their office, from their house.
Yeah, very, very busy people. So we just started doing our events in person again, and it's been super fun to be back into the community.
Yes, that energy, to be able to, enjoy time together and, share that emotion about their business idea is just amazing. We feel again part of this community, That is, and being able to listen all those great business idea is just like a fantastic experience for us.
Oh, it definitely sounds like you really get to get integrated into the community.
Yes.
Really getting the connections, and so anyone can apply? Yeah, like anyone
Yeah.
can apply, anyone can go to the pitch contest. How does that work?
So we're called Entrepreneurship for All because we're focused on helping everyone succeed. So all you have to do is come to us with like a really, really awesome business idea, and we're here to help you. So we don't ask for like paperwork or like resumes or anything like that. You just go on our website and you fill out the application. We actually offer like assistance filling out the application too. Sometimes it's a little intimidating for people. But like literally anyone can apply, and like any type of business can apply. We help nonprofits, for-profits, you name it.
The only thing you need is have like a passion for your business idea. If you are really passionate about your business idea, we are here to support your business and grow, and change your life, because that is what happened with our entrepreneurs. The life change once you have your, you are entrepreneur, you are your own boss, you believe in yourself, and also your family also experience that different history. So we are very excited about give that support to our members in our community.
Oh, yeah. I saw one of the pages on your website is some of the people who've gone through your program who now have their own business, and it's incredible what they're able to create and what they were able to take this passion and make it a reality.
Yeah, we have so many successful alumni, and that's really like the best part about our program is like seeing the impact that like EforAll and the mentors and all the other volunteers have. Like we do the classes, but they're also meeting with a team of mentors once a week, and then they meet with them the rest of the year. Wow. And I still talk to alumni that are still meeting with them after years, So it's like, it's giving them access to like the tools and like the business knowledge, but also access to a professional network that they may not have had access to prior.
Oh yeah, I've always told networking is the thing that you got to do. Make the connections.
If you're not networking before EforAll, you're networking during and after.
You're gonna be pro. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It gives you that push, to come out of your comfort zone, kind of thinking about it. We have several events during the Accelerator program where the entrepreneurs are kind of forced to publicly speak. Halfway through the 3 months of the program, we have progress pitch. So every entrepreneur goes up for 3 minutes and they talk about everything that they've learned about their customer and their value proposition and what their goals are of the Accelerator program. So it's they kind of have her forced to go up there, and it's and it's so interesting to hear their pitch in the interview to get in, their progress pitch, and then hearing their final presentation at the end, how they're even just their pitch and their confidence of talking about their business evolves is one of the best
It's
things.
Like a transformation, right?
It's such a transformation. You'll read some applications, you'll be wait, what do you do? And then you actually meet them and they have this great idea, and the only thing that they were lacking was just support and community to help them accelerate.
Definitely. And you mentioned a volunteer-based organization, so you're always looking for volunteers, people to help.
So we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for donors. So our volunteers are really what drives our program forward. So basically we have our volunteer opportunities are we are always looking for mentors in English and in Spanish, and the role of the mentor is basically to be you're not working for the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the CEO of their business. They're there to be more of a sounding board and support, setting their goals, leaving them accountable, meeting with them weekly and then monthly. And then another one, which is great, is our Accelerator specialist. So we take people that are experts in their field from the community, and they teach the classes. So
oh, that's cool.
So they not only get this knowledge, but they get a local connection that they can either utilize or ask questions
which
after.
Is amazing.
Yeah, which is one of the greater things. I'll have entrepreneurs email me and be hey, I'm starting to build a website and I'm working on my SEO. What's the name of that guy again? And they can go and email him, and he can kind of talk to them about it. And then we're always looking for judges for our pitch contest, and which is super fun. And it's more of like a way to get involved in like a smaller capacity. It's like a 3-hour commitment. Super fun, like you one and done, and it has like a huge impact. And we're always looking for people, and this is something that's great because people can do this at home, is readers. Yes. So we have volunteers that read and score and give feedback on our application. So the cool thing about so the cool thing about our program is if you don't get into our program or the pitch contest, you still get feedback on your application from all these readers. So you always have something to take away.
Yes, and that feedback can just change the way you was thinking about your business, because that feedback maybe you don't realize you can offer your service or your product in X place, or go to this company and they give you that feedback, and it's just it's just amazing.
Yeah, the feedback's great too.
Yes.
It's I've had entrepreneurs get the feedback and then come back a year later and they totally took that feedback and then they got into the program too. So,
which you love to see, taking the feedback, like you said, the growth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're always here to support. Even if you don't get into our program, we're always willing to meet with you one-on-one to kind of discuss the barriers, how we can connect you. We're very, very committed to being deeply rooted in the community, with our community partners and the people that we work with. So if you don't get into the program, or you just need help on something, maybe you don't need to go through the program, because there is a specific point in your business where you need to be for it to benefit the curriculum, to benefit you too. Okay. So we're always willing to help no matter what. We want to be the go-to resource for any aspiring entrepreneur in the area.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. And it seems like you are with all your programs, the way you operate, and you try to build a network of it. People, once they get involved, they're involved.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're EforAll family. We always say you're EforAll family for life.
Yeah, forever. Yeah, we stay there. We stay in connection. Sometimes we have for one entrepreneur, they have a business idea and they need someone who can be good with, for example, decoration or anything. We have this entrepreneur. So that connection is just so powerful,
Yeah.
Yes.
And that also kind of triggers, the cohort aspect of it. So when you're accepted in the program, there's 9 people in the cohort. And the cohort aspect of it is my favorite. And I always say this because I went through the program as an entrepreneur.
Oh, you did?
Yes. But the cohort is you're all in different, you're all in different industries, and you're doing different things, but you're all there for the same reason. So it's during the program, it's so amazing to see the bond of the cohort. Everyone's going to each other's events, everyone's buying each other's stuff, everyone's working together.
It's amazing.
It's truly amazing to see the bond. And even during the pandemic, when we were virtual, they were still able to bond in that virtual environment, which was really cool to see too.
It is just amazing when we start with the classes and everybody's like this, and then by then, everybody's hugging, everybody's crying, it's enjoying. It's a family. It's a new family.
It's tough because all of these people are there's a lot of single parents or people that have families and they're working another job and they're trying to start this business. So it's really rough, and the accelerator, it's an accelerator for a reason. You got to go really, really fast. So having that support in that community is super helpful too.
And how we always say, as an entrepreneur, you are so passionate about your business, right? But then in home, you're just keep working on your real job, right? But then you have the cohort, and with them you can share your experience. So you find the people who can give you the real support, and then it's okay, I keep going with my business, I keep going with my dream. So that part is beautiful and priceless.
Oh, it does. It sounds like it would be. And thank you so much for coming on to talk about it and share some of that. So it sounds like it's incredible.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course. Sounds like an incredible organization. So once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This is the Lynn Lowdown. And we'll see you next week with more guests. Now for the community calendar. Monday the 12th, the North Shore Latino Business Association and Mass Hire North Shore Career Center are holding a hiring event. Anyone interested in employment in the North Shore area is encouraged to attend. Happening from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Sutton Street. Go for free training information. Saturday the 17th, there will be a Wreaths Across America ceremony at both the Pine Hill and Swampscott Cemetery. Beginning at 9 a.m. at Pine Hill and continuing at 11 a.m. at the Swampscott ceremony, volunteers will be laying wreaths on the graves of veterans. The 19th, LCTV will be hosting a free screening of the movie Elf, beginning at 7 p.m. at 181 Union Street. Head down for some free refreshments and to enjoy this fun holiday film. To learn more about the events listed and all events on our community calendar, visit lyntv.org/events. That brings us to the end of this week's news. To stay up to date on all the latest happenings in the city, follow us on social media at Lynn Community Television, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lynn Community Television, to watch all our videos and interviews. For press releases, videos, and news, head to our website, lyntv.org. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by North Shore Community College. If you have the will to attend college, we have the way for you to earn your degree.